Hello, and welcome back to a belated episode of the Two Dudes in a Podcast.
Two dudes.
We missed a week.
Why did we miss a week?
Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I was tired, and I had an allergy attack, so I would have been sitting here going,
Allergy attack.
I didn't watch anything this week. So I was ill-prepared and just kind of
Creaky chair.
Snotty. Yeah.
Hey, snotty.
But I made it. Here we are. Episode 5. We'll cover 2 episodes of Clone Wars this week since we missed the last week.
They're good episodes.
Yes.
One of them's hard to remember.
The episode 3.
Yeah.
I remember it. I got you, man.
Okay.
I got you.
I remember they did something.
They fought in that one.
Yeah, they fought. They rode dragons in that one.
Yeah. How have you been?
Bored?
Bored? Yeah. Yeah. You know why? Because I have it right here in my notes. Shit has popped off.
Oh, he said a bad word.
Shit has popped off, my people.
Though. Talk about self-quarantine.
Talk about
quarantine.
God bless.
Will the internet spite us if we say coronavirus?
I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. Well, coronavirus.
I don't know why. I mean, it's like I don't get it. Like, if the internet's gonna freak out over people saying corona, it's like it's happening.
Yeah.
Accept it.
Yeah, it's like that's what YouTube does. Like they'll demonetize your video
if you say coronavirus. That's ridiculous.
That's one. Yeah.
Good thing I don't monetize my videos because YouTube has turned into a crappy platform.
It really kind of has.
Yeah.
Well, what have you done over this quarantine week?
Played video games and watched movies.
Nice.
Good escapism, you know?
Yeah.
I like that. I fancy the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone Battle Royale mode. I am trash.
Oh.
But I like it more than Fortnite, though.
I've been getting pretty good at Battlefront 2, EA's Battlefront 2.
The 2017 one?
Yeah. It's not completely terrible anymore. They've updated their instant action mode.
Oh, yeah. They've added a lot. Anakin, Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Why didn't they start out, though?
They didn't start out that way because EA's stupid.
Yeah.
And they said, unfinished game? Yeah, unfinished game.
Why? Okay, whatever.
I don't know. For some reason, good games are few and far between now.
Yeah. I've heard Doom Eternal's pretty good. That came out today. A day early.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they released it early for the quarantine?
It was actually more to avoid competition with Animal Crossing. They were coming out the
Doom
same
versus Animal Crossing.
I don't know.
What's the is the chick's name like Rose?
Isabel?
Isabel.
Yeah, the dog.
Isabel versus Doom Guy.
I thought that they work together more often than they are against each other. That's what I've seen.
That's what you know.
That's what I know.
That's what happened in your crossover.
Yeah, like I didn't do this. I've only played like.
Do you have a yearly like CW superhero show crossover?
Not with Doom and Animal Crossing.
Oh, you just observed that one.
Yeah, I just observed that. I've only played one level of Doom 2016. I've never played any Animal Crossing.
I've seen the gameplay from Doom 2016. Those games interest me. Except I might be buying the new Modern Warfare.
I know.
First.
Doom 2016 is $10 to $20 in the PlayStation Store.
You know what? They might just have a new customer. Maybe.
If I had $10 to blow, I'd probably get it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my mom can get Final Fantasy VII Remake for her birthday. We downloaded the demo and played it. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
It's going to be great. Have you ever played any Final Fantasy?
I have not. I don't own a PlayStation.
Dang.
I got an Xbox to play with my friends because they all got an Xbox. And then they went off and played Minecraft on PC. I still don't have a PC. But it's okay. I'm having fun.
I've always been isolated from my friends video game-wise. I've grown up with PlayStation.
That's okay.
I just got an Xbox.
Hey, you got better games.
True.
The only thing that like the Xbox 360 had going for it was like
Halo.
It had Halo, and it had a lot less like I think.
I picked up Halo for the first time this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Combat Evolved or Halo 2, Halo 3?
Well, I started at the beginning, actually.
Combat Evolved?
Yeah.
Good? You enjoying it?
Not really.
Oh.
I got bored with it and gave it to my brother.
Oh. It is very much just a run through places and shoot things.
Yeah, it's very arcade-like. It's first person. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters either. I like third-person better.
I like both. I like a good mix.
I could probably play Doom as first-person.
Doom's first-person, isn't it?
Yeah, it's first-person.
Doom's just got a lot going on, though.
Yeah.
First-person, third-person, I have no real preference. Because it depends on the type of game. If I'm playing like a Call of Duty game, I like a first-person. Like Call of Duty, Battlefield, love first-person. Because it's supposed to be like a soldier-type experience. Mm-hmm. And that's what you get with it. Especially the more modern Battlefields, love or hate them. Battlefield 4 is still like the pinnacle for me. Battlefield 1... It's not exactly what I wanted, but I love running around with like bolt action rifles and stuff.
Bolt action?
Yeah, because it's a World War I shooter. But Battlefield 5 is World War II. And I really like that because it's World War II with modern graphics. And the last World War II game with modern graphics before Battlefield 5 that I know of is Call of Duty World War II. And that was no bueno.
No, oh, sheesh.
But yeah.
How's
yeah.
I dug up my Dungeons and Dragons books again.
I mean, what else can you do
Finally,
in these times locking yourself in a house?
I'm finally
You good on toilet paper?
Toilet paper?
You stocked?
Well, Marvel's still printing comics, so yeah.
They have some good ones. Some.
How common are they?
They're good gems.
Good gems.
You get gems. Here's the thing, though. Marvel prints so many different titles that the gems are good, and then the clunkers are clunkers. Like, Marvel and DC print a lot of titles that you don't think of. So, like, maybe the trash outweighs the good ones, but the good ones are just, they stay good, usually.
That's good.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, with comic books, you have ups and downs because different writers come in all the time and they have different interpretations.
True.
Some interpretations bad, some people love the Rebirth Batman Tom King run. For me, it's not my Batman. Because
I've heard Rebirth was interesting.
Rebirth
New 52 that was weird, and Rebirth was kind of better.
New 52 rebooted the whole universe after really it hit its stride for a while in the 2000s, and they had a crisis in the mid 2000s, and then in the 2010s they had Flashpoint. And that, when Barry Allen came back, he was in the Rebirth universe. And everybody had all new stuff, and there was stuff people liked, there was stuff people didn't like. Personally, I like some of it. I don't like other bits. Like Superman was very much angsty, very much
in Rebirth or
New 52.
Oh, okay.
New 52, he was very much like a darker Batman. Smallville BVS type Superman. But, like, Smallville had a better interpretation. The reason I say Smallville is because in Action Comics, they did, like, origins of Superman, kind of.
Also, Smallville, he was a teenager.
Yeah.
He was angsty because it made sense.
Yeah. So, and he was also young in this, like, and he was with Wonder Woman instead of Lois Lane.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Lots of decisions. Were made in the New 52.
Lots of
and then Rebirth.
Questionable.
Rebirth brought back like a lot of status quos.
That's good.
Like the Superman from the pre-52 got brought into the new universe because the New 52 Superman died. It was like pre-52 Superman, Lois Lane, and Jonathan Kent.
Wow.
Were brought into the new universe.
So weird.
And then like a thing happened and New 52 and Pre-52 combined, creating like Well, no, it was just like hey, the two universes have kind of combined at this point, and then there's also like a revelation that the pre-52 is still canon because Dr. Manhattan was messing with the DC universe.
Oh yeah, with the
Doomsday Clock
crossover.
Yeah.
That hints at a possible Marvel crossover.
Yeah.
And Marvel did the same thing. That hints at a DC crossover.
Don't know much about that. I'll see I'll believe it when I see it.
There was a Thor comic where you get a like full-on shot of the Daily Planet and Superman shooting away from it.
Okay. All right, wait.
I don't know when that's happening.
What were we talking about? Big Ronus?
Big Ronus?
Yeah.
What is that?
Coronavirus.
Oh, Coronas.
No, just Ronus.
Ronus.
And Rumpus is Trump.
Is my Corona. Kind of like my Sharona.
My Corona.
Or my Bologna.
All right.
My Corona.
Have you been making it along in the time of the Great Ronus?
In these trying times of no toilet paper?
Yeah. That's ridiculous. I tell you what.
I still don't know if that's connected to the coronavirus or not.
I think it might be. Like, people are like, oh my God, I need toilet paper because I got to quarantine myself. It's like, everything's not on full shutdown.
Not everything.
Like, stores are still open. It's just limited hours now.
Yeah.
And, like, they have specific hours where only, like, senior citizens can shop.
Oh, neat. Like, I think I heard that Walmart is closing at nights sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of places. A lot of restaurants are still open. They're just dining rooms are closed. So you can get like takeout and delivery.
Chick-fil-A did that across the board.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. I got takeout from them today. Walmart. Hey, my favorite Mexican restaurant. Their dining room is still open though.
Hey, cool.
Good place. Walmart closing early. And I think they're going to have specific, like, Sam's Club. Do you know what Sam's Club is?
Yeah, I know what Sam's Club is.
They have, like, a thing where you can get in, like, a little bit early if you're a Plus member or whatever, like an hour early. And, basically, I think Walmart's doing that, but for senior citizens. So if you're over this age, come on in.
That's cool. Walmart's a pretty great place.
Walmart's pretty cool.
The Transformer section's a little disappointing sometimes.
I don't know. There is a whole show where these two guys talk about their Walmart stories, and they're like, it was good. There was a golden age, but then it got crappy.
Oh. Okay.
No, I'm not trying to deter you. I'm just saying it wasn't. It was just managers.
I don't know. The managers I've talked to are pretty good.
That's good.
So far.
That's good.
I know.
I'm glad you have talked to good managers.
Woohoo.
I just hope you don't get in there and you get a different manager and they're like, I am your dad now.
Oh, no.
But yeah, coronavirus has caused a lot of things. It's even delayed movies, which is in our wheelhouse.
What movies has it delayed?
I've got a list right here.
Oh.
The new James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Coming out this month. I think it's either now coming out in July or like October.
Something. I don't know.
A lot of movies are going to lose money because they've had to market already, and they were marketing for this month, next month, in May. Boy. And now they've got a market for a whole new month.
Sheesh.
Black Widow was one of the last movies to delay, and it was coming out at the 1st of May. And that's a whole month from now.
Oh, boy.
Minions, Rise of Gru. Who cares? That's what I'm saying.
I was interested. I'm not gonna watch
I haven't cared since Despicable...
Me Too?
Me 3.
I don't know.
I watched 2 and 3 in theaters.
I'm not gonna lie, the first Minions movie was not completely terrible.
I haven't seen it. I'm just like, I don't care about a bunch of little yellow dudes. I've moved on from the Despicable Me universe.
Despicable Me cinematic universe.
Yeah. The DMCU.
Oh, boy.
A Quiet Place 2 has been delayed.
I should watch A Quiet Place.
I haven't seen that either. I want to see it. F9, Fast and Furious. I think it's called like the Fast Saga or something.
Huh.
I think that's what they're calling all the movies, though. Who knows? It's just called F9.
The Fast Saga.
F9. What kind of a movie title is that? A Fast and Furious movie title. Because you know what the 8th one was called?
What?
The Fate of the Furious.
Oh. Still a better title than Rise of Skywalker.
The sequel title names aren't bad. They just don't sum up what happens in the movie. The only one that really sums up what happens in the movie for me is The Force Awakens. But they never built on that in the movies. The Force Awakened in The Force Awakens, but then Rian Johnson said, it take place 5 minutes after first one, yes? And then JJ said, shit.
Oh boy. Hey, quick, brace yourself. I'm going to move my microphone down real quick.
Oh God.
I hope that wasn't too bad.
Okay, I might be able to cut that out.
Sweet.
So, 15 minutes. Write that down somewhere.
15 minutes.
About 15 minutes. Write it on your show notes and give it to me,
okay.
Or text it to me or something.
Crap.
Here, I know which pen works. There's a pen in there.
This one. Yeah.
Mulan, the live action Mulan. The white one right there.
That one. Okay.
That one. Got it. There you go. The live action Mulan's been delayed. Which I don't know. I've had an experience with this because I'm like, I want the animated Mulan, man. I like that with Eddie Murphy and Ming-Na Wen. I love that movie.
My only problem is they took out Mushu completely instead of turning into like a big old serpent dragon.
Well, they are not just making a copy, which is also like, hey, at least they're trying to do something original.
That's true.
But it's also supposed to be a live action remake. Which I learned the difference between remakes and reboots.
Really?
Because of a movie recently. I'll talk about that soon.
Okay.
And New Mutants has been delayed yet again. This movie is never coming out.
No, it's not. Well, maybe.
And you know what? I could care less.
Oh boy.
Every trailer, I'm just like, I don't care. At this point, I'm just like,
give us a good Wolverine movie.
What was a good Wolverine movie?
Give us another one.
Give us, yeah.
That has to do with the MCU.
Wolverine versus Hulk. Give us a Hulk movie, but it's a Wolverine backdoor pilot.
Well, how would that work going forward in the timeline? Like, Hulk is kind of smart now. Or do we go backwards in the timeline?
Oh, crap. Don't.
Oh, boy.
Hey, well, you might be in She-Hulk, and some stuff might go down in there. Ooh. But yeah, that's the movies. No Time to Die, the new James Bond, which I kind of wanted to see. Black Widow, Minions: Rise of Gru, Quiet Place 2, F9, Milan, New Mutants.
That's it?
That's the significant ones that I wrote down. Yeah.
I think the only one of those I was really looking forward to was Black Widow.
Black Widow and No Time to Die were my two that I was like, my girlfriend was looking forward to Quiet Place 2. But I haven't seen Quiet Place 1. So
I don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's that. The world is
ending.
It's the end of the world as we know it. Question mark?
We gonna go down the list or skip to the Spider-Man thing?
Do you want to do an out of order show today?
I don't know.
All right.
Spider-Man rumors.
Spider-Man 3 Daredevil rumor.
Saw that this morning.
On a recent episode, I've seen the source it came from, actually. On a recent episode of Kevin Smith's podcast, Fat Man Beyond. Really good podcast.
Good podcast.
Love Kevin Smith, too.
Yeah.
He said there's a rumor that there is going to be a specific lawyer in the third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie that is in the MCU. And that lawyer is supposed to be none other than Matthew Murdock, who has
played by
a vigilante identity,
known as
Daredevil. Played by the Netflix TV series actor Charlie Cox, who is the greatest Daredevil. Considering there's been like
2 or 3?
Two.
Technically, there is a Hulk movie from the 80s that has Daredevil in it.
You know what? We'll count that one, but I don't care. So you know what we'll say? That one just it's out.
Yeah.
But between Ben Affleck and Charlie Cox is definitely Gosh, that show had 3 great seasons. I tell you, I watched all 3 of those seasons.
How many seasons did it have total?
3.
Oh, okay. I thought it had 4 for a minute.
No.
Or was it supposed to get a 4th, and that got canceled?
It was going to get a 4th.
Okay, that's what happened.
And Bullseye was going to be the villain. He had 2 Kingpin seasons.
Those are good. The Defenders was really good.
Yeah, The Defenders is kind of a Daredevil season.
Yeah,
but
true.
with extended cast.
Yeah.
Of everyone.
Yeah.
I love The Defenders, and I love Daredevil. And I love Punisher.
Daredevil.
And Luke Cage. Jessica Jones is pretty good. And Iron Fist is
I didn't
Garbo.
watch Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones is a watch. It's a trip. Luke Cage is pretty good. It's got 2 good seasons. The second season isn't as good as the first one. Iron Fist, Garbo season 1, mediocre season 2.
Sheesh.
But if this is true, I hope it's true.
I hope it's true too.
Because I want to see Daredevil in the MCU.
Me too.
He's a great character. And him and Spider-Man have a great relationship.
Yeah.
Just, I hope they put the cat back in the bag about Peter Parker's identity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's a very important thing. And you shouldn't do that until he's...
That might be where Matt Murdock comes in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Spider-Man working with Daredevil than Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we get all 3 of them and we just call it Team Red. Or Red Team.
Do that. If anything, Daredevil and Spider-Man should be against Deadpool.
That'd be a neat movie.
Yeah, it would.
Or like Deadpool, you're tearing through New York. Yeah, I gotta kill this dude. He's a bad guy.
I'm being
Let
paid.
us take care of it.
He's a bad guy, plus I'm being paid, so get out of my way.
Get out of my way. I'm gonna blow up the Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be...
your Cable.
Yo. I hope Josh Brolin still gets to be
Me
Cable.
too. I really do. They killed off Thanos.
They did. Yeah. Well, he can be brought back though. About anybody they kill off in these movies can be brought back if they're significant.
Nobody
enough.
stays dead.
Nobody stays dead.
That's the number 1 rule of comic books.
Dang. Except Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy.
And some characters in Hellboy.
We're talking big comic books. The big 2.
The big 2.
Nobody stays dead in DC.
Nobody stays dead in DC.
No. Well, Pa Kent. If he dies, because sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, Spider-Man 3.
Thomas
Apparently,
Wayne didn't stay dead.
Thomas and Martha Wayne do stay dead. They get oof.
They get oofed over every time.
Thomas and Martha Wayne is fresh in my mind because of a movie I'm going to talk about. Okay. But yeah,
did you hear the Wolverine rumor about Henry Cavill being Wolverine?
Oh yeah, that's been dispelled though.
Okay, good.
You don't want Henry Cavill to be Wolverine?
I really don't. I'd love for him to be Superman again, but I don't know.
Let him have a good crack at Superman.
Yeah, let him have a good crack at Superman.
So,
I mean, like, he could be the next Christopher Reeves for Superman.
That's true.
If he was allowed to.
That's true.
He totally could.
I listened to a recent podcast, actually, with a past Superman, Brandon Routh.
Oh.
The Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum. Really good. He actually talks about being Superman.
Yeah.
For
Brandon Routh's Superman was pretty great.
It was a good Superman.
Superman Returns is underrated.
There were supposed to be sequels.
Dang it.
Movie underperformed at the box office.
Don't you just hate it when that happens?
Yeah.
Probably going to happen to Snake Eyes.
You want to talk about Clone Wars?
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars? Clone Wars?
Clone Wars. Season 7, Episode 3. On the Wings of Kira
Dax, that's what they're called.
18-minute episode, action episode. Gonna tell you right now, disappointed in this one.
Really?
It felt like if we're gonna only get 12 episodes, I'd like them all to contain story, or at least be a part of a flowing story. And to me, this was just a sidestep action episode.
Yeah, it really was.
And it was short.
Yeah.
18 minutes.
Felt pretty short. I barely remember anything from it. Like, nothing important happened.
Basically, they get Echo, and then action ensues.
Yeah.
And then they get off that planet and go back to an Axis.
They did the Rise of Skywalker. They fly now, but better.
They did.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Kiridax.
They were riding on the dragon creatures, and then
dragon
these Techno Union droids
they sprout wings.
They sprout wings like a bird, and they're like, "They fly now."
They didn't do that.
The clones are like, "They fly now."
No.
And yeah.
Tech said that wasn't part of the plan. Those things can fly.
Is that dang? I don't remember.
That's exactly what he said. That's the only thing I really remember.
Yeah, droids fly now. Techno Union ones.
They've been flying for a while, though.
That's true.
They didn't say they fly now. They just said those things can fly because they didn't know that those battle droids right there could fly.
Those were interesting battle droids.
They were. They were narrow. And they
I
could
like
walk
the
down
unique Techno Union droid designs because they had an Octotera droid, and it was just like it could fly,
walk down narrow corridors,
and it had like an overcharged blast.
Yeah, pretty nifty droid. But they're rocket super battle droids.
Yeah. Those have been featured in the Clone Wars. On the wings of Kiridax is like the ranks of these episodes, like the Bad Batch, episode 1 is an 8 out of 10, episode 2 is a 9 out of 10 for me. Mm-hmm. Episode 3 is like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because I was disappointed a little.
It was still pretty good, I thought. Good action episode.
Yeah, good action episode, but it's like, dang it.
It was like a brief little mini campaign for your players to go on.
Yeah, it was a little side battle. It's like you're on a road and you happen upon a battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Which it's like cool. If it was a longer season, nice. But since it's only 12 episodes, I'm like,
yeah,
dang.
Wasted episode almost.
But then they made up for it with a 25-minute episode titled
good episode.
Unfinished Business.
Unfinished Business.
Basically the Anaxis campaign comes to a front with a dual prong mission.
Pretty much.
By Echo.
It's Echo's idea, and the Bad Batch doesn't 100% trust him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things was Echo's arm. He can now plug into astromech ports.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool.
He's a droid clone.
Yeah. Joins the Bad Batch at the end.
He does.
Pretty epic. If he was on a Lego game, he could activate astromech switches.
Yeah, that'd be
so cool.
Dang. You've been thinking about a Clone Wars Lego game.
I just watched this episode for the first time today. But yeah, the Darth Vader part was amazing.
Yeah,
I love it when they foreshadow Vader in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because they do it very well.
And the
Big
Imperial
Trench
March
is like, Anakin, you're a Jedi.
And the Imperial March plays briefly,
and Anakin says, "I have no weaknesses like that." And then he just goes,
I have no such weaknesses. And it's a very Darth Vader thing to say.
Yeah, I know. Anakin. I was watching a thing, like these guys talking about the Clone Wars, and they pointed out, you notice how whenever Obi-Wan's not around, Anakin tends to fly off the hinges? Because Obi-Wan kind of like calms him down and is like a center of his.
Yeah. They're right. And
he was like, notice how in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan goes to deal with Grievous and he comes back and everything's just gone to shit. He goes to take care of Grievous and Anakin just goes nuts while he's away.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Obi-Wan leaves and Anakin's like, see ya, dude.
See ya. I need him.
I'm gonna go talk to Palpatine. He's my other friend. And Palpatine's like, the British one is away.
Boy.
Yeah. Unfinished Business. I really liked that, and it concluded the Bad Batch arc very well.
It did. And now up next,
Ahsoka is back.
Ahsoka's back, baby.
Ahsoka's back.
Heck yeah.
Hashtag
Ahsoka for Battlefront 2.
What would you rate Unfinished Business?
I'd give that one a 10 out of 10. That was beautiful action and storytelling.
I'd give it 9.5.
Plus a Darth Vader moment.
That's true. And it was longer than On the Wings of Kiridax.
Yep. Longer than the other episodes, too.
That's true.
By about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that all about Clone Wars?
Is that it?
I think that's it.
You ready to talk about what we've been watching recently?
Mace Windu was cool.
Mace Windu was cool. Oh, yeah, he drops down. He's like, I've dismantled, 100,000 B1 battle droids? Yeah. He's basically giving these basic battle droids a chance to put down their weapons.
And then they just go, blast him.
They do. Obi-Wan, looks at him like, what are you doing, dude? And Mace is like, I got this.
I wonder how that battle droid voice is going to sound recorded.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Well, I'll hear it sooner or later.
I'm practicing on my battle droid voice for the RPG.
Nice.
It'll come in handy.
What would you rate
Rage?
What would you rate the Bad Batch arc as a whole? All 4 episodes together.
I'd give it a good 8 to 9 out of 10. Yeah.
I'll give it a good 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
No, 8.5.
8.5.
It was a good reintroduction to the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars is back, baby. Mm-hmm. And it's exploding.
Yeah, it is.
And the trailer alone was just awesome.
It was.
It was so beautiful.
You ready to talk about what we've been watching?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first? I go first?
How many things did you watch?
I watched about 4 movies.
Oh. I watched a combination of movies and shows. I watched...
Do you want to trade? I do one, you do one?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I watched 2 movies. No, 3 movies.
I'll start off with probably the one I remember the least about to get that out of the way, and then build myself up. Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
The first movie I watched was Her. It is a movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. I'm going to look it up real quick to make sure I mention the director.
Okay.
But it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and the story is basically he is lonely, and he works at this company that writes personal letters for people.
Forever alone.
But he's also in the middle of a divorce. He's at the end of a divorce. He just hasn't signed his divorce papers. And he sees a commercial and he gets this OS system. Yeah. And it creates an OS based on
what's in
a couple questions that it asks you.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different personalities. Her is directed by Spike Jonze, I believe. Spike Jones. I'm going to say Spike Jonze.
Spike Jones. Bob Jones.
Yeah. And then he gets this OS system, and it's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and he ends up falling in love with it.
Huh.
Because she's developing
schizophrenia
with him. No.
Oh, okay.
The OS system is developing along with him.
Huh.
And it starts being very supportive. And it kind of falls in love with him too.
The robot system?
Yeah.
This is a weird movie.
It's okay. Right, saying it right now, there's a lot more plot than that, but we try to, not spoil it.
Good point.
Someone can go watch it.
Yeah. Yar days.
It's an interesting concept. Chris Pratt's in it.
Chris Pratt,
not in a starring role, but
he's pre Parks and Rec.
This is
pre Guardians,
right after Guardians. I think it came out in 2015. And everybody's got a 70s Tom Selleck mustache, and it's it's supposed to be a near distant future.
Gotcha.
Type of deal.
In the not too distant future.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, AD.
But yeah, and he develops feelings, and she develops feelings, and
for Scarlett Johansson.
Robot Scarlett Johansson.
Nice. Pretty sure it's Johansson.
Johansson?
Johansson, yeah.
Probably European, but here in America, it's Johansson.
Johansson's sounds a lot cooler.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, see?
She's American, though.
Still.
Okay. I'm going to say Johansson.
Johansson.
I tell
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah.
Lighting up the movie screens as Black Widow and an OS.
He turned himself into a pickle. funniest stuff I've ever seen.
I tell you, his name is Rick. He turned himself into a pickle. He goes by Pickle Rick. Funniest shit I've ever seen, sir.
What just happened?
Memes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with a basically Siri version of an advanced Siri version. Let me reinforce the OS.
It's basically
very advanced.
Basically a artificial intelligence.
Almost.
Like
it's not quite to like Jarvis levels.
Okay, so
but it's got a personality.
Gotcha. I was about to say
it has limitations.
I was about to say on like a scale of Siri to Jarvis, where is it?
In between.
Gotcha.
Like, it can talk like Jarvis, but it doesn't have the power that Jarvis has.
Gotcha.
Like, it can go through your emails and stuff and help you organize, and that's what it's meant for.
But okay, cool.
A bunch of people, actually, in the film. Like, it doesn't show multiple people. It shows one other character that gets feelings for an OS.
Huh.
But it's brought up that multiple people are getting in relationships with operating systems.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, they fall for a computer. But
when you're so alone, you fall for a computer.
I mean, I can kind of see why the characters did. Because they were in a very vulnerable state, and their OS was very supportive and kind to them. And even the OS kind of falls for them. It's not just like, I was made for this.
Neat.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't a crazy good movie.
Yeah.
It was
that's like an interesting movie.
It's a movie I'd just watch.
It's a movie.
It's not something I'd pop on every year and be like, I'm watching Her again.
Yeah, I'm watching Her. That sounds weird.
Yeah. Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix, directed by Spike Jonze. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. I don't know. I rate some movies low, and I'm like, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
I don't know. From what you've told me, I'm not very interested in it.
I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good film.
What drove you to watch it?
Just felt like watching a movie.
Fair enough.
I had nothing better to do, so.
Fair enough.
Your turn, sir.
My turn. Okay. I watched primarily shows over the past 2 weeks.
All right.
And
let's talk about one of them.
I finally finished Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
Jojo!
I actually finished it before my dad did. And he started it before I did. But Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
Suck it, Brannon's dad.
Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. By far, probably the best part so far.
Okay.
It was just amazing. The art style was beautiful and the animation was great. And it handles its legacy characters really, really well.
So we started off with
Jonathan Joestar.
And then
Jonathan was in the 1880s. And then Joseph Joestar was in the
now we got
1920s. And then Joseph is back, actually, as an old version of Joseph. And I watched it dubbed because it was originally Japanese. But he's voiced by the same guy who voices Raiden in Mortal Kombat. So that's hilarious. But he has to work with his grandson, Jotaro.
Jotaro?
Jotaro, yeah. Jotaro Kujo. That's his name. And basically what happens is...
Is Jotaro called Jojo as well?
Yes.
They're all called Jojo,
They're all called Jojo. And this part deals with... Instead of dealing with the mystical energy of Hamon, like the past 2 parts did, this deals with stands. Stands, because they're...
I think you went into some of this.
Yeah, I did, with like the spirits that are constantly standing next to you, and that's why they're called stands. They fight for you stuff.
So they're almost like the psychic plane?
Yeah, kind of.
But no psychic
plane. I read a synopsis somewhere for the whole part where it refers to the Stardust Crusaders as psychic fighters, which is pretty good. A pretty good what's the word?
Summary?
Summary, yeah. Summary of what exactly they are. And Jotaro is exceptionally powerful with his stand. And basically his stand's power is just to beat the crap out of people.
That's a good power.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He does a lot of beating the crap out of people.
Sounds fun.
Yep. And they meet some people along the way, like Avdol, who's from Egypt.
Egypt?
Yeah, he has a stand that's fire-based and stuff.
The Fire Nation?
Magician's Red, kind of. He's kind of lame. Not my favorite character.
Okay.
He dies like twice. There's a character named Vanilla Ice. He's a bad guy.
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
No crap?
Yeah, no crap. His name is
Ice Baby.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice. His stand was honestly horrifying because it's basically just a void. And if you get hit by it, you get transported to a void of nothingness.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was horrifying, honestly. The whole 4 episodes that they took to fight that guy, they were pretty scary. I wasn't sure who was coming out of those alive. If there's anything about Japanese anime, it does a really good job of building tension like that. It really does. It over-exaggerates a lot of it, but it just ends up creating more tension if you really get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's Kakyoin and stuff. He's another high school student. Jotaro's only 17, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they meet Jean-Pierre Polnareff. He's French. His stand is like fencing.
Okay.
It has a fencing sword.
So you said we're dealing with an old Joseph Joestar?
Yeah, Joseph Joestar, voiced by the guy who voices Raiden in Mortal Kombat, has a stand that's called Hermit Purple.
Okay, so Joseph Joestar, his story was told in the 1920s.
1920s.
This is when?
This is the 80s? If I remember correctly, it's
Joseph
the 80s.
Joestar is old.
Yeah, he's got the Hamon stuff flowing through him, which is basically life energy. Keeps you alive longer than usual.
Yeah.
And his stand is basically he can make these purple thorn vines coming out of his arms.
Okay.
And he can pump the Hamon stuff through it. So he's pretty great. There's an episode where him and Avdol get turned into walking magnets. Those are really weird episodes.
Okay.
They eventually meet a dog named Iggy who has a stand.
Iggy.
He's really weird. He has like the face of a human, but he's not a human turned into a dog. He's just a dog. It's really weird. And did I tell you about Dio?
Dio.
He was Jonathan Joestar's stepbrother who threw his dog in the incinerator.
Yeah, you told me a big incinerator dog.
Yeah, he's back.
Huh?
Yeah, because how...
Didn't Jonathan Joestar kill him?
Kind of. We thought that he took...
He banished him to the Shadow Realm.
No, we thought he took him out with himself as the boat exploded at the end of part 1.
His sacrifice was for nothing.
Apparently. But not completely, because Arena was pregnant at the time he blew up. So not completely for naught.
So we got Joseph Joestar.
We eventually got Joseph. It goes Jonathan, and then a George, and then Joseph, and then Jotaro. No, and then Holly, who is Joseph.
George didn't matter that much,
George didn't
apparently.
matter much, no.
Poor George.
Joseph had a daughter named Holly, and then she had Jotaro. But we thought Dio was reduced to a head at the end of part 1, and we thought his head blew up with Jonathan when the boat exploded. But turns out Dio was able to claim his body anyways and climb back into the casket.
That's nice.
Yeah. And so he's back. And he stole Joseph's grandfather's body. And that's how Joseph and Jotaro know he's still around, is because they can feel the Joestar body is calling out to the other Joestars. Thing is, Dio knows they're out there coming for him.
Dang.
Yeah. And Dio has manipulated and controlled other enemy stand users, which are trying to prevent them from getting to Dio.
Okay.
In Egypt. So they have to go from Japan to Egypt in about 50 days.
Oh.
Yeah, because Holly, Joseph's daughter, ends up developing a stand, but her body's not accustomed to it, and it starts to attack her.
Oh.
Yeah, and that has some connection to Dio, because Dio ends up like contaminating it or something. So they have to take him out in order to save her.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It was great. It really was. Like, talk about character development. Jean-Pierre Polnareff goes from being this annoying guy they have to fight at the beginning of the season to being the guy you hope doesn't die.
Dang.
Yeah. Like, I love Polnareff. He's great.
Cool.
Yeah. I'd give that part a 9 out of 10. If not a 10 out of 10. Because it's great. And they have animated part 4 and 5. of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but neither of those are available in the U.S.
Okay.
At all. But they're available in Singapore.
Nice.
Yeah. I've heard from one of my friends that the animation quality drops in part 4.
Ooh.
However, because JoJo got really popular after part 3, and so they rushed part 4 out. I hate it when that happens.
That sucks.
Well, I think that's all I've got to say about JoJo.
Okay.
For right now.
Okay.
Until next time. Whenever I get to watch part 4, which will probably be in like 3 years.
Part 4.
Part 4.
Next movie.
What did you watch?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Have you never seen Back to the Future?
Never seen it.
Wow. You should watch Ghostbusters next.
Yeah, okay. Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Michael J. Fox and the guy who plays Doc Brown.
That guy. I can't remember his name.
I really like the movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Big.
The second one's just as good in my opinion.
We did watch the second one, but I fell asleep because we started it at like 12 at night.
Dang.
And they have part 3 on Netflix, but not part 2. So that's funky. I saw bits and pieces of part 2. Like I saw the whole beginning and whatnot. I saw like the beginning when he gets back to Hill Valley and it's all screwed up.
Oh yeah, with the Sharknado or something. Or is it a Jaws thing?
That's in the future.
That's in the future?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's still like a future, like the shark comes out and it's like 3D.
Yeah. 3D.
Yeah, that's the future stuff. But Back to the Future Part 1, great movie.
It is.
It's not overly complicated with its time travel. At the beginning, you're like, oh crap, how's he going to fix this? And he comes back and he's created an alternate timeline.
Oh boy.
And that's great, you know, because in the beginning, we had this debate. We were like, in the beginning, did Doc die or did he have a bulletproof vest on? And I'm like, no, because Marty hadn't gotten back in time yet.
Oh.
And then after he goes back in time, he gives Doc a letter. And Doc puts a bulletproof vest on.
Nice.
And like, he's created an alternate timeline that he's come back to, but he remembers the past one. And then he sees himself going off to create yet another alternate timeline that Marty will go back to.
Right.
So
I haven't watched these movies in a while.
Yeah. Back to the Future. 9 out of 10.
Nice.
There's not much else I can say because the whole plot is Doc Brown, like Marty is feeling kind of like he's not going to achieve much in his life because his dad didn't. His dad's kind of a pushover. His mom is something else. And his girlfriend's like, you'll do fine. You're talented. You're a talented guitar player. He's like, and Doc Brown's created a time machine. What happens is Doc Brown got plutonium from, I think it's Libyans.
Oh, didn't he get it illegally? Oh,
they wanted him to create a nuke, and he said, I'm going to create a time machine, Marty.
Marty.
And then the Libyans come up, and they shoot Doc Brown, and Marty's like, I'm going back in time. And he goes back to 1955, where he takes the plate. He basically, like, there's a story his mom tells him of how him and his dad met, and he pushes his dad out of the way and takes his dad's place. His mom starts falling for him.
Yeah, that's the weird part of the movie.
That is the weird part, but it's played very comedic-like. So
yeah, that's good.
It's not that weird because you're laughing at it. You're like,
if you think about it,
nervous laughter though.
If you think about it, though, it starts to get weird.
I mean, if you think about a lot of things start to get weird.
Yeah, whatever. You say one word too long over and over again, it starts to not sound like a word.
Yeah, no. But basically, Marty does some stuff, and things happen.
Things happen.
Watch
affects the timeline.
Watch what?
It affects the timeline.
Yeah, it affects the timeline. Sorry.
Wow.
Watch Back to the Future.
Watch Back to the
It is
Future.
a great movie.
It's a pop culture icon for a reason.
I watched it. My friend brought a box set of all three.
Oh.
And we watched it.
Nice.
Yeah. Back to the Future. Find it. Watch it.
Good trilogy.
Don't pirate.
Don't pirate.
Unless you have to.
Yeah.
And I mean, excuse me.
Oh, whoa.
And I mean, unless you have to.
Unless you have to. And Hondo is not a good role model, just saying.
Yeah. No, definitely.
No, not really.
If a movie's a piece of crap.
Pirate Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Definitely go watch Back to the Future.
Yep. And Jojo.
And Jojo Part 3. All of Jojo.
No, just go watch it. It's great.
All right.
What else did I watch?
What else did you? I don't know.
What else did I watch?
You're asking me a very
no
big question.
Phone. Okay. Oh, looks like I watched. Went back and watched another anime that I haven't watched in a long time. I watched. It's a Netflix original anime called The Seven Deadly Sins.
Okay.
It takes place in a fantasy world where there are these 7 special holy nights.
Okay.
Called the 7 Deadly Sins. Each one is got an animal tattoo and represents a different one of the 7 deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got the dragon sin of wrath, Meliodas. The serpent sin of envy, Deanne. She's a giant, 30-foot tall giant. And then you got other characters like the fox sin of greed, which is Bon.
Okay.
He's immortal. You've got the bear sin of sloth, King of the fairies.
Okay.
The goat sin of lust, which is Gother. He's a doll. That might have been a spoiler. I shouldn't have said that. There's the boar sin of gluttony. That's Merlin.
Okay.
She's pretty cool. And then there's the lion sin of pride, Escanor.
Okay.
He's awesome. He's an absolute unit. Was that all 7?
Absolute unit.
Absolute
yeah, sure. That's
unit.
7.
That's all 7. I'm pretty sure.
That's actually all 8.
8?
I'm just messing with you.
Whoa. Well, it's got 3 seasons currently on Netflix, and I've heard there's supposed to be a 4th one this October.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm psyched for that.
So you're all caught up?
Pretty much, yeah. And the last time I watched this, I had strep throat last January.
So it was kind of like a fever dream.
Yeah, it was a fever dream pretty much. And I remember being annoyed with it, but I rewatched it this past week, and I can't remember if I was annoyed with it or the strep throat. Because it was a lot better than I remember. But first, before I went back and rewatched the last 2 seasons, because I only watched the last 2 seasons, I watched the movie on Netflix. Okay. It's only about an hour and a half long. Unfortunately, it's not part of the show's timeline. It's outside of that timeline because all of the sins are in one spot working together, and they never do that really throughout the show. Yet, at least. So, it was really good. Disappointingly, though, it's not part of the timeline. That was the worst thing about it.
The movie?
Yeah. It was pretty good, though. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that, but if you're good with me going right into the anime, the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the second season was technically titled Signs of Holy War.
Did you not watch the first season?
No, I didn't. I skipped the first season. I remembered most of that one.
Okay.
But it was the movie that compelled me to go back and watch the show because I couldn't remember half of it.
Okay.
But the second season only consists of 4 episodes, and it pretty much builds up the third season pretty well. Because there's a romance that develops between Deanne the giant and King the fairy. So it's a giant and a fairy. And unfortunately, Deanne loses her memories at the end of season 2. And they were just starting to get their relationship going, and she's... Memories are not... She
gets Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 3.
Gother has telepathic abilities, and he goes poking around in people's heads. He's kind of a dick. He has no emotions, though, so he doesn't understand what that means.
He's like Dr. Manhattan.
Kind of, pretty much, yeah.
Except, no. It's so sad. Steve Jobs died of ligma.
Who's Steve Jobs?
The ligma ball.
But the Holy War is the demon race comes back. And it becomes the 7 deadly sins versus the 10 commandments. The 10 elite demons. It's a team of elite demons chosen by the Demon King. Each of them represents a different commandment. Like we've got Galland of Truth, who's killed by Escanor in a pretty epic way. And you've got other dudes. They've all got pretty special. They've got special things that, like Gallant of Truth, if anybody tells a lie in his presence, they turn to stone.
Ah!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The thing is, even the commandment, the actual demon, is susceptible to their own curse.
Oh.
So if Gallant of Truth was to tell a lie, he'd turn to stone.
Nice.
Yeah. There's also one of them that's, I think he's supposed to be love. I can't remember. But anybody that, it's love, because anybody who has hate in their heart is sapped of their strength. And that's what happens. That happens somewhere near the end of the season. All these guys try to go towards him to fight him to get revenge for somebody, but all their strength is sapped out of them. They can't even pick up their swords.
Okay.
But then Escanor walks up in his big old gold plate of armor, a lion's sin of pride, with his big one-handed battle axe. And the love commandment is like, how are you standing right in front of me? You just walked up to me. And he's like, I can't possibly feel hate for you. All I feel is pity. Because he's so full of himself. He's got so much pride. He just feels pity for this guy that he's about to annihilate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said he's an absolute unit,
He's
right?
an absolute unit, but not at night.
Not at night?
Not at night. Not at night.
Not at night.
When the moon is up. Because this show operates on a power level thing, kind of like Dragon Ball, if you're familiar with that.
Don't know anything about Dragon Ball.
No, well, they have like a strength score, a spirit score, and a magic score that are all determined by a certain 4-digit number typically.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they've got a total power level. Every character has their own power level. This is the most complicated thing with the show, but...
Anybody over 9,000?
Escanor. Escanor gets over 50,000, but like at night...
He's over 9,000!
Yeah, but at night, Escanor has very little power at all. But as the sun starts to come up, his power level slowly increases, and he gains in muscle mass and everything. He just gets stronger and stronger.
Okay.
And once it hits noon, he's at his max power.
Okay.
And once sun starts to go down, he loses power.
All right.
He's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So I'm glad there's a 4th season coming this October, because 3rd season ended with a bunch of loose ends.
Okay.
Need to be tied up and everything. But I don't want to tell too much anymore, because that'll be spoilers.
All right.
This is the 7 Deadly Sins. It's on Netflix. So far, I'd give it a good 8 out of 10.
All right.
Maybe 7. Ugh.
Okay. Me? Anything else?
There's one big thing I don't like about the 7 Deadly Sins.
Go ahead.
It over-sexualizes its female characters, like, all the time. Yeah, which I really hate, because Deanne, the 30-foot giant, is actually my favorite character, but she doesn't, like, wear any armor. Yeah, she runs around pretty much in a swimsuit the whole time. One piece, but she doesn't really wear any pants. And it sucks. It's dumb. Like, she's 30 feet tall, carries a giant metal sledgehammer, and never really lays down any hate.
She just kind of chills.
Pretty much. It's always the little bitty fairy dude that has to come save her. It's pathetic.
Okay.
That's my major gripe about the show. Otherwise, it's pretty alright.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Your turn.
I watched Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Oh, I should have watched that.
It's on Amazon Prime.
That came and went in theaters.
Jay and Silent Bob Reboot did not release in theaters.
Oh.
Kevin Smith toured it.
Oh, okay.
And it was also on a platform release. So whenever he was in, like, wherever he went, theaters would show it for a little bit. But only specific theaters.
But only the cities he was currently residing in.
I think so, but I think it was also like, he would go there, after he would leave, it would play in the theaters for a little bit, and then once he left the next city...
The movie followed Kevin Smith.
Yeah, like, it would stay a city behind while he was in the next city.
Neat.
But once he left the city he was at, it would leave the city he had been at previously, go to the city he's leaving. Well, he takes it, and it was a whole road show.
That's pretty interesting.
I missed. I wish I could have gone. They had one in Nashville.
Yeah, they did.
But it was on a...
It was kind of expensive too, wasn't it?
It was expensive, and it was on a school night.
Oh.
I think it was on a night I had a night class. Gosh, Jay and Silent Bob reboot is pretty good.
That's pretty good. Don't tell me too much though, because I want to watch it.
I give it an 8 out of 10, 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Essentially, it reuses some of the plots from the first Jay and Silent Bob movie, Strike Back, since they're making... It taught me that a reboot, they take the concept of something, add youth and diversity, and do it again. And
wait, that's just The Force Awakens.
They make that joke. And then he said a remake is when they don't care about the original one. They take it and they screw up 2 movies in the process. That's a remake.
Fun.
Basically, Jay and Silent Bob
have to go to
Hollywood because they're making a reboot of the original Blunt Man and Chronic movie. And the new film company has said that Jay and Silent Bob can't use the names Jay and Silent Bob since that's the alter egos of Blunt Man and Chronic.
Oh, okay. So they have to fight for their names.
Kinda. That's how it starts off. And then in the middle of this trip, Jay meets... You remember Justice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Turns out Jay's got a daughter.
Played by Kevin Smith's daughter.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing. Harley Quinn Smith.
And then they're going to Chronic Con. Which is the Jay and Silent Bob Blunt Man and Chronic. It is a Blunt Man and Chronic Comic Con, basically.
That's so weird.
Lots of cameos from all of his other movies pop up.
Yes.
Matt Damon pops up in his role from Dogma. Jason Lee in his role from Mallrats.
Have you seen Mallrats yet?
I haven't seen Mallrats
gotta
yet.
watch
I
Mallrats.
haven't found a way to watch Mallrats yet.
It's at the Manchester or Tullahoma Library. I can't remember.
I don't have a library card. Bro. I could go to I could go to our rental store.
Rent it on Amazon.
I could go to the rental store.
Why do that when you can order it from your couch?
Yeah, we are on quarantine.
Exactly.
Gosh. But they're going there and they're like, we're going to stop the reboot. Yeah. And Kevin Smith is actually directing the Blunt Man and Chronic reboot.
Oh, no.
and Kevin Smith directed Jay and Silent Bob reboot. He also stars in it as Silent Bob.
Directing a movie inside of a movie that he's directing and also starring in?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he stars in it as Silent Bob and Kevin Smith.
In the Blunt Man and Chronic movie?
In Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Okay. But he's not Blunt Man in the movie that he's directing, in the movie where he stars as Jay and Silent Bob. Bob.
No.
That was a complicated sentence.
Yeah, it's a complicated movie a little bit. But, fun movie. Funny. Oh, Ben Affleck pops up.
Ben Affleck.
For longer than I thought he would be in it. And he's playing his role from Chasing Amy. And
I haven't seen that one yet.
The girl who played Alyssa Jones in Chasing Amy pops up. And other cameos.
And then Kermit?
And
then the Kool-Aid Man busts through the wall and goes, oh yeah!
That'd be funny.
But nah.
A couple of his podcasting buddies pop up.
Oh, that's cool.
Mark from Fat Man Beyond has a quick cameo. He doesn't speak, but he's in it.
Cool.
Ralph Garman from Hollywood Babylon has a speaking role in it. Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl, plays Chronic in the new Blunt Man and Chronic reboot. Val Kilmer plays Blunt Man in the Blunt Man and Chronic reboot. And then Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. Plays like the Alfred type character. And they show a clip from the Blunt Man and Chronic reboot, and he sits there, and it's called Blunt Man v Chronic.
Oh.
And,
no.
And Blunt Man shoots Melissa Benoist Chronic with a gas grenade, and she's like, "Oh, the V meant for vaping." And then Tommy Chong's like, "Yeah, man, stoner don't fight." And they're all just sitting there like, and Bluntman's just like, nodding his head, and funny moment, funny movie. With a little more, it's got some more heart. It's a little more heartfelt than the first Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Neat.
Strike Back, because of the whole daughter plot.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, is it Dante?
Yeah, from
Clerks.
Clerks.
He's the guy who works in the Quick Mart.
Yeah, he's been working there all his life.
He's in it.
Poor guy.
And he's still not even supposed to be there today.
And they're making a third one. He's still not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson has a cameo.
Neat. All these cameos. It's like Muppet level cameos.
Yeah. Oh, Joe Manganiello has a cameo.
I know that name.
He played Deathstroke in Justice League.
Deathstroke. Gotcha.
And he played Flash Thompson in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man by Sam Raimi.
Spider-Man.
Jay and Silent Bob, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. If you know the Kevin Smith View Askew-niverse, View Askew-niverse is the movies Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob's Groovy Cartoon Movie.
I haven't seen that.
And maybe a couple others. But the View Askew-niverse, look that up. Those movies are worth a watch.
They really are. The Kevin Smith cinematic universe.
Technically, yes. It is his cinematic universe.
Nice.
Which he's making a Mallrats 2, actually, called Twilight of the Mallrats.
Oh.
I think he's going to make a Clerks 3 as well.
Yeah. Clerks 3 I know is happening.
Mallrats 2 is happening.
Nice.
Because he talks about it on his podcast.
Nice. Are we going to get an Avengers style movie?
What?
Are we going to get Mallrats?
That's just Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay,
Jay and Silent Bob are the big everyone's in it type movies. The View Askew-niverse movies are good. Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is good. Just make sure you watch some other movies of Kevin Smith, specifically Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2.
Clerks is the first.
Clerks is the first movie. That is his debut movie, and it is
at least
funny as hell.
Yeah.
Mallrats my personal favorite of his is either Chasing Amy or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
My favorite right now is Mallrats.
Haven't seen it, but I got a feeling I'll like it.
Jay and Silent Bob.
I also got to watch Clerks 2.
You love old comic books, you'll love Mallrats.
Stanley, it has an in memoriam for Stanley.
Ah, nice.
Mid-credits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because I think he was supposed to play a bigger role. But then he passed.
Dang it.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Definitely watch Jay and Silent Bob Reboot if you're a fan of Kevin Smith. Because I feel like if you're not, you're going to be like, what the F is this?
What?
Yeah. What else have you watched?
I watched Frozen 2.
Frozen 2?
Frozen 2.
Have you seen Frozen 1?
Yes.
What did you think of Frozen 2?
Frozen 2? I liked it better than the first. I really
can agree with that. I think I have a favorite scene. And it's a scene...
It's the Olaf scene.
Yeah, where he's like, yeah, and this happens, and he's just reenacting all this, and like everyone...
Icicle.
Yeah, I love that.
Their parents are dead.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
And that's the highest I got in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I really liked the Elementals. The Elemental song, Into the Unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cover by what's-his-face from Panic at the Disco.
Yeah. Man.
I was headbanging to that.
Yeah. It's not that bad. I liked Into the Unknown better than Let It Go.
This one had... I like Kristoff's song. That's like an 80s
right.
power ballad.
Yeah. 80s power ballad, Christoph.
Talking about love.
Yeah, I liked how this movie was definitely less of a traditional Disney princess movie and more of a adventure movie. Like,
yeah.
It gave me serious Dungeons and Dragons vibes, which I don't get a whole lot from Disney.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much because I was just like...
It was mostly the elemental forest. I mean, like, basically Anna becomes queen of Arendelle, and then Elsa becomes queen of the elementals. Does that not sound awesome?
I think you may be making the movie a little better in my mind. I don't really want to watch it again.
Watch it again.
But,
give
okay, I will. I have an excuse to. So.
True. It's not half
I'm going to find... I'll show him to a child.
Do it. You can come to my house. Youra watches it like 3 times in a day. Yeah.
Is that all you've been watching on quarantine?
No.
That and anime?
7 Deadly Sins.
What did you think of Frozen 2?
Frozen 2. I thought it was pretty good. 8 out of 10. Once again, the ending, the last act felt kind of rushed because of the animated movie stuff.
Yeah. For some reason, Disney animated movies and a lot of animated children's movies, when you go back and watch them, they have this great plot building, and they have to rush the last act because they all try to make them 90 minutes.
Elsa freezes for some reason. I still don't really know what that was about.
I don't know. Dramaticism?
We're assuming that she gets to the source of her magical powers, and it overwhelms her.
Yeah.
Made some sense.
Sure.
Also, something to do with, like, she
confronts her inner self and becomes a Omega level mutant.
Yeah. That, and like something about how that she has to, her and Anna have to learn that they can work together without always having to be stuck to each other.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I like how they make fun of how easy Anna is.
What? How easy Anna is?
She married the first dude she met.
Oh, yeah.
They keep on just relentlessly making fun of her for that. And I'm like...
Yeah.
You better rub that in.
The beginning of it where... the very beginning where they're playing in the ice... The snow playset that Elsa made. Anna says something and Elsa's like, that's not how that works. And once again, I was like, Elsa's spitting facts.
Yeah. It's like Elsa's spitting facts and Anna's just like...
Woo! Oh, boy.
Yeah. I just hurt everyone's ear.
Yeah, you probably did. Anna's pretty much the Disney princess of the movies, and then Elsa's
like, I'm out here spitting facts, and Anna's just like, do you want to build a snowman? Because I really want to build a freaking snowman.
And then Elsa's all like queen of the elementals.
And then Elsa's all like, I got some character growth to get through. And then Anna's like, I'm gonna marry a dude.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, rock monsters. They named the wind elemental Gale.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I got that joke.
And there was the fire salamander. So the
Firemander.
The firemander? Charmander, yeah. Thing is, that's not really much of an elemental. That's more of a magical creature. Oh, well.
Don't you question things, man.
Elementals.
Mickey... Dude, I see a red dot on your forehead right now. Mickey's right out the door.
Probably because I'm a salt miner or something.
Mickey's out the door. He's like, no, you be talking trash about Frozen now. No, Goofy's actually the assassin. That's why he acts so goofy, because he's killed so many.
Donald's strapped in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I know. No, we get it. Donald's strapped, but he's more like the gangbanger, loose cannon, while Goofy's the assassin that covers his many kills with...
Yuck! About to snipe this guy right here. I just shot a man. Maxie, get down!
Okay, how many movies did you watch again?
Got one more.
One more. Go for it.
Blade Runner 2049. The sequel to Blade Runner. The final cut. Blade Runner, the other cut. Blade Runner, the theatrical cut.
Blade Runner.
You are Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
No.
You watch it. Watch
Okay.
it.
Maybe.
It's definitely gone up because of the second movie. Blade Runner 2049 to me is so much better than Blade Runner.
Wow.
From the opening credits, I'm just like, I'm ready to be back in this world.
Yeah.
Because I like the world from Blade Runner. And somehow, you know what happened? The world got crappier.
Yeah.
The technology got better, though.
More nuclear fallout.
Pretty much. God, Los Angeles is a shithole.
Frick. It's like Fallout 4.
It's like Coruscant if everything was the lower levels.
Oh.
And rainy or ashy.
So it's like post-war Cybertron.
Yeah.
Crap.
Except people still walk around on the streets. And I've noticed a lot in this one that I should have picked up in the first one. Japanese, Chinese, that type of Asian culture.
Yeah.
Very prevalent.
Yeah.
Very prevalent. Kind of like what you were talking about with Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot less of the whole, hey, otherworldly type stuff. Like, they mention that replicants are getting shipped off to other worlds to be slave labor and whatnot. There's a lot more action in this one.
They have more.
The main character.
Is it still Han?
No.
Oh.
It is Ryan Gosling
But
who
Harrison
plays.
Ford's in it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He does not come in it until like the last hour.
Huh. That's kind of weird.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
That's true.
The main character is played by Ryan Gosling. His name is Kay. He's a Blade Runner who goes and hunts replicants.
Nice.
I think his name is KD.
KDA4.
No, KD6-37 or something.
Neat.
He's a replicant that hunts other replicants. The only difference is he's a newer model.
Well. How the turntables.
And then you get some twists and turns in there that are great. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, who's doing Dune.
Oh.
Roger Deakins is the cinematographer for this. He did movies like The Shawshank Redemption.
Neat.
I think he won an Oscar for Blade Runner 2049.
Nice.
Well deserved. It wasn't just like hey, you did these other movies, you getting it now?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Oscars will do sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Well deserved for Blade Runner 2049. Some of the best shots ever.
Nice.
God. Such a good movie. 10 out of 10. That's my first 10 out of 10 on this podcast.
Nice.
But it's a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Blade Runner 2049 has so much just goodness. It's got action. It's got drama. It doesn't have comedy.
It's like
or a lot of comedy.
It's like the Lego Movie 2, minus comedy.
Like, if there was comedy, I didn't laugh, but I didn't care because I was just like, I want to see what happens. And I love the Blade Runner world, no matter how crappy it is. It's a very creative and inventive type of world with the flying cars and whatnot.
You could run an RPG in this world.
Yes.
You could. Those are the best.
Everyone would end up dying at the end of it, but you could.
You could.
You could. Yeah.
I watched a show with a world kind of like that.
Blade Runner 2049, starring Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Ana de Armas, Mackenzie Davis, Jared Leto.
Sounds
directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Who directed the first
10
one?
out of 10. Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott was a producer on this.
That's good.
He didn't direct Blade Runner 2049 so he could do Alien Covenant. Bad move on him.
Ugh.
Gosh.
Was that the first Alien movie he got to do since the first one?
No, he did Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
Gosh. Watch Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
It is a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
If you haven't seen Blade Runner, on Netflix, Blade Runner The Final Cut. On Amazon, Blade Runner 2049 is free with ads. The ads are not incessant. You get a good amount of movie, and then you watch either it's a 70-second ad, a 30-second ad, 20-second ad.
What platform?
Amazon Prime Video.
Prime Video. Gotcha.
Blade Runner 2049, free with ads. But first, you gotta watch Blade Runner: The Final Cut.
Nice.
On Netflix.
Gotcha.
Blade Runner: The Final Cut to me has bumped up to an 8 out of 10. Honestly.
What was it originally?
7 out of 10.
Gotcha.
But it's an 8 out of 10. Blade Runner 2049 though, 10 out of 10.
80s movie, right?
Blade Runner?
Yeah. First
1982.
1982.
I figured that out today.
Gotcha. So I got a question about 80s movies, kind of like Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they did more world building?
Definitely.
I think a lot of 80s movies do a lot
of 80s movies liked to craft worlds.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of modern movies want to craft a world, but they get too obsessed with making other movies.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like setting up other films. They're like, we're world building, but in reality, you're just saying, hey, we're making a film about this. Instead of just like, this is the world, we're showcasing it.
Yeah, that's what Star Wars did.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the 80s, you got Star Wars, Blade Runner, Alien.
Lots of movies. Predator.
RoboCop. I'd follow RoboCop underneath there.
Now, it didn't end in the 80s. There were some 90s movies that had world building.
True.
Lord of the Rings.
But
those were based on books.
That was pre-80s.
Even Blade Runner is based on a book. Blade Runner is based on the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, I believe, by Philip K. Dick. But the title Blade Runner is from a different science fiction novel.
Oh, that's weird. That's really
the plot is from the Philip K. Dick novel, but the title is from a different novel.
That explains why people are claiming the early screenings or early reactions to Dune are claiming it as the next Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, which makes some sense because it's a classic sci-fi novel, and it did a lot of world building. It has world building elements.
Yeah.
So there's a very good chance Dune could, in fact...
I'm excited for Dune.
Me too.
Dennis Villeneuve with Blade Runner 2049. Dude, watch Blade Runner, The Final Cut on Netflix. Watch Blade Runner 2049 on Prime Video. That is it.
Gotcha. We got to go see Dune.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see Dune.
We're going to see Dune.
Gotcha.
Got anything? 10 out of 10 Blade Runner 49.
10 out of 10 Blade Runner. I think next I'll talk about a movie I rewatched recently. I rewatched the Lego Movie 2, the second part.
The second one?
The second one, yeah. Yeah. Have you seen any of the Lego movies?
I saw the first one.
You should see the second one.
And Lego Batman.
Lego Batman's good. Did you know there was a Lego Ninjago movie?
Don't care.
Exactly. But the Lego Movie 2 is pretty great. It's just as good as the first one. It's actually a musical, surprisingly, but it's probably one of the best musicals I've ever seen. The first one is about everything is awesome.
Yeah.
And the second one is about everything is not awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second one has a lot to deal with growing up. And like the kid from the first one has aged some. Like he's a teenager now.
Oh.
And you know how like teenagers...
Check in on him.
Yeah. And the teenagers get kind of edgy. They go through an edgy phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically his Lego universe has gone through that.
Oh.
His sister has come in playing with Legos now.
And she's got Duplo.
She's got Duplo, but she's also aged since then. But it's pretty much, you get a montage of the Duplos and stuff. Every time he would make something cool or fun, the Duplos would come in and break it.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he decided to just make, he took Bricksburg and he made it into Apocalypseburg.
Oh.
Yeah, they've got like a crashed Statue of Liberty and everything. Yeah, Alfred's in it from the Lego Batman movie.
Oh.
Very briefly, but he's in there. Unfortunately, Robin's not in there.
He died.
Probably. There's a reference where, and there's a whole other alien system, basically. That's the story the kid comes up with, is that the aliens that come and destroy everything he makes are from the Sistar system.
Get it, sister?
Yeah, Sistar system. And so, eventually, and everybody's toughened up. Like, Wild Style broods all the time now, kind of like Batman. You got sewer babies, you got all sorts of gritty stuff. It's dark, bitter, except for Emmett. Emmett's still singing everything is awesome.
Emmett's having a good day.
Emmett's just vibing.
Chris Pratt's having a good day.
Chris Pratt's having a good day. and he has a dream about this dolphin that says it's 5:15, and then there's some other stuff, and then our Armageddon happens, and everybody gets thrown into the bin of storage. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you exactly what that means, but it's kind of inferred.
Okay.
If you can think about it. And then he meets Rex Dangervest. Well, no. They send some people to fight the aliens from the Sistar system. They send the Justice League, but they never come back. There's a pretty great throwaway reference. Superman's like, "Where's Batman?" And then Wonder Woman says he's having his own solo adventure. Yeah, a reference to the Lego Batman movie. It's pretty great. But then something else from the Sistar system comes and takes Wildstyle, Benny, Unikitty, Batman, and Metalbeard to the Sistar system for a matrimonial ceremony. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a whole song about Gotham City guys, and Batman has a sick rap verse. It's awesome. It plays the Batman theme in the background. It's amazing.
Nice.
I'd give that movie a 10 out of 10. Because it starts off kind of like it's repeating the first movie, but then there's this big old curveball near the end that sells the whole movie.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Did I tell you about Rex Dangervest yet?
You mentioned him.
Yeah, he's basically every Chris Pratt role from the past 5 years.
Nice.
He's got velociraptors. He's a Galaxy Defender. And some other stuff.
Nice.
Cowboy.
You mentioned it was a musical.
It is a musical, yeah.
I got to talk about a musical.
Oh, cool. We're going to segue into that now?
I'm going to segue into a musical.
First off, the Lego Movie 2, 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen either of the Lego movies, go watch them. Okay. They're great movies. Very inspirational movies.
The first one I've seen, I'll vouch for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
Lego
great.
Batman is really good.
Lego Batman's great.
It's fun and it's a great
It's beautiful.
Batman movie with many Batman references.
Yeah.
Our high school put on a musical, Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
I saw it. Is good. Only got to see it once. I only went and saw it once, unfortunately.
Dang.
But I kind of saw it a second time when I was a guest pirate.
Oh, guest pirate.
They had a different guest pirate with every performance, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. I got to be one.
Nice.
Luckily. I loved the opportunity of doing that. It was really fun. It's only like the second or third time I've been like on stage in front of a... The first time I was in a little kids play in third grade, Alice in Wonderland. The second time was a play I directed myself and wrote myself for a class.
Oh yeah, but that was great.
There was a decent amount of people there.
And there was. Closest thing I've gotten on stage is band concert.
And now this Peter Pan play, which was fun as heck.
Did you pull off that Wilhelm scream?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did the Wilhelm scream because the guest pirate dies.
Oh.
So I went, and then like everybody was like, you had like one of the best deaths. It was me and another person, because usually the guest pirate just stand there like, I die. There was a part during intermission right before like they open the curtains back up. The pirates come out, and I had a bottle of booze with me.
Nice.
Nothing in it, of course, because it's a high school play. But I had a glass bottle, looking all piratey, acting like I was drinking it and stuff. And we sing, "What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor?" And then it curtains open, and some mermaids sing, "Leave her, Johnny, leave her." And we all kind of stand in the aisleways of the theater. And I'm like, I'm drunk right now. So I sit down. As I'm sitting down, I just kind of fall on the ground. I'm like, oh.
Nice. Bit of improv there for you.
Yeah, and then we go up and we sing this pirate shanty, "Blow the Man Down," with the mermaids.
Gotcha.
And we just kind of leave.
You just kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was the whole pirate vibe.
It was
scene.
a whole pirate vibe. Nice.
And it was fun to be in it.
My brother
I'm
can
really
play.
glad.
My brother can play the drunken sailor thing on his accordion.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, but it's there.
Cool.
Yes, my brother has an accordion.
Actually, I was a band pirate. So there's 3 pirates that have instruments that play when Captain Hook tells them to. And I had a little tambourine. I was vibing with my little tambourine. Someone had the one person had a accordion and another had a trumpet.
Nice.
And I was vibing with the accordion. Not tambourine.
Tambourine.
I could have got the shakers, maracas. I should have gotten those because they were all like little baby instruments. And there were also little cymbals I could have gotten.
Finger cymbals. Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really fun. I threw together the costume. I used my boots and pants and like part of a tunic from a Jedi cosplay.
Do you have an eye patch?
No, I had a fake beard though. And I had my hair tied up in the back.
Nice.
And then at the end when we all went and did bows, I pulled a fake beard off. I was like, ha!
Ha ha!
Yeah, it was really fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun to be a pirate. I would do it all over again.
Man, this is going to be our longest episode yet. How long we got?
1 hour, 31 minutes.
Huh.
I think our longest was 136, and we're like right here at the end. So
We are?
We are right here at the end.
I got like one more thing to talk about.
You got one more thing to talk about.
Have you ever heard of Terry Pratchett?
Terry Pratchett, who's that?
Terry Pratchett. He wrote some books back in the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe even farther.
You ever heard of L. Ron Hubbard?
No.
Battlefield Earth. The man who created Scientology.
Oh, no, this is Terry Pratchett. This is Terry Pratchett. He created Discworld.
Discworld. It sounds like a knockoff Tron.
It's actually better than Tron.
Oh, no.
No, it's better than Tron.
Don't you...
Oh, yeah.
I like Tron Legacy.
Oh, but Discworld. Discworld is great.
I'll fight it. I'll fight Discworld with my Tron disc.
You want to fight the anthropomorphic personification of death?
Come at me, bro.
Bro, Death just vibes all the time. He's just constantly vibing. But
sometimes Death is a woman. Like in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, sometimes Death is a woman. It's his granddaughter. Susan. Susan. Yes, but I watched the animated version of Terry Pratchett's Discworld book titled Soul Music.
Soul Music.
Yes, it's about where Death's daughter dies.
That sucks.
He has to deal with that. That's
ironic.
And his whole storyline in Soul Music is he's trying to forget that. So he goes around trying to figure out how to forget things. Like he gets blackout drunk at one point, and
I know how to forget things.
He goes to a military organization.
Become the new Goblin. Attack your friend Peter Parker that used to be your friend, but you think he killed your dad.
Huh.
Get trip-lined in an alleyway, hit your head on a bunch of things on the way down, get taken to the ER by Peter Parker.
Huh.
A la Spider-Man 3.
Nice. Retcons. I don't know. But as Death is trying to do that, he's trying to forget the death of his daughter, which is an adopted daughter. Susan, his granddaughter, has to take over. And she's like 10 or 12 or something.
Bro, Susan, can you stop killing people?
No, she doesn't kill people. They die on their own. She just has to make sure the souls make it.
She's like so Death is like the fairy person.
Yeah, he's the anthropomorphic personification of Death.
He holds your hand, takes you to the gondola, and says, "Let's go on a nice ride."
Kind of. I don't really know. It's more like when somebody dies in Discworld, their soul comes out and they're still connected by a strand of something. And that's what the scythe is for. They have to cut that strand to sever it completely. And then
it's like an umbilical cord.
Kind of, yeah. But then I don't really know what happens to the souls after that. I think they eventually dissipate and go to wherever. Yeah. But there's this one kid who wishes to be the best musician ever. Mm-hmm. So he gets pretty much possessed by a magic guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that keeps him alive because Susan, in her job as Death, ends up going to the place where the kid's supposed to die. Mm-hmm. And how Death works is that everybody has an hourglass. Mm-hmm. And once the sand runs out, they die. Mm-hmm. Thing is, his sand runs out and then a flame pops up because of the guitar. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's some other pretty serious things that it deals with like the idea of death, and it deals with that pretty heavily. So when your main character is death itself, you deal with some pretty heavy themes. Terry Pratchett does a lot of that. But the reason it's called Discworld is because the world is literally flat.
Yeah. Flat earthers love it.
Yeah, probably. But the Discworld resides on the back of 4 elephants, which resides on the back of a massive sea turtle flying through space.
The sea turtle.
Yeah, the sea turtle. It's Discworld. There's also a random chimp event.
Chimp?
Yeah, a random chimp event.
Hey, you know what they say? You can be 2 things in this world, and that's chimping or simping, and I ain't simping.
I ain't simping. No, this chimp wasn't simping either, but it was a random chimp event. Because what happens is there's this university of wizards, right? And their librarian is...
Sorry, I can't get over random chimp event.
But the librarian of this university is an orangutan.
Oh, no wonder there's a random chimp event.
So, and then there's the musician kid who starts, it's basically the Beatles all over again, where they become the next biggest fad ever. And then there's the arch chancellor of the university.
They're the Beatles, but we're monkeys.
No, they're not monkeys. The monkeys join, the orangutan joins them for one performance, that's it. And then he goes off and builds a motorcycle.
One goes out to our monkey brothers. We call it Revolution. You ever watch Planet of the Apes?
I don't know, but the kid and his band start getting really big, and then there's the wizards at the university that start to get really big on this music, much to the arch-chancellor's despise. Chagrin.
Chagrin?
Chagrin is a big word. Much to his chagrin. And it's really funny, because one of them says that the arch-chancellor just can't understand people their age, and the arch-chancellor's like, you idiot, you're 7 months older than I am. It's a lot funnier watching it. Yeah, and then the monkey builds a motorcycle for I still have no idea why. Like, he performs with them once playing the piano, and then after that performance kind of fails, he runs off, grabs the wheels off of a wagon, and then runs away going, and then he starts constructing a motorcycle. And I have no idea why.
Hey, man, monkeys got to get around somehow.
And then Death steals it.
Hey.
And goes all Ghost Rider on everybody.
Man, that chimp was chimping, but then he started simping, and he got his motorcycle stolen.
That's probably what happened.
Discworld sounds crazy.
Discworld is crazy. There's a couple live-action renditions of books on Amazon.
Boy.
You've got Hogswatch, which is basically Death Saves Christmas. Like, there's this whole thing that's the Hogfather. He's Santa Claus.
I can't comprehend this.
You just gotta watch it. There's the Hogfather. He's like Santa Claus for Discworld, but then he goes missing, and then Death has to take over Santa Claus's job, and then Susan has to take over Death's job.
Again?
And then they have to save the Tooth Fairy, and then...
This is like an amped-up version of the DreamWorks movie Guardians.
But so much better. And then there's Going Postal, which has nothing to do with Death or his granddaughter.
Bro, Going Postal.
Going Postal.
That's worse than chimping now.
Yeah. Oh, why are there so many holes in my shirt? I don't understand this. And there's The Color of Magic, which is about the wizards.
All right.
And then I started another anime today. I'm not going to talk about that much. Started Sword Art Online. I got like 5 episodes in. It's not much to talk about right now.
Okay.
That's pretty much everything I watched.
All right. You ready to wrap her up?
Wrap her up.
All right, last thing. Me and Brannon, right before,
right before we
coming
started
on air,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We watched a video of Arnold Schwarzenegger
unit.
in a hot tub smoking a stogie, talking about coronavirus and social distancing and whatnot, telling you, stay inside, don't go out and whatnot, like. Follow the rules.
Follow the rules.
And we just thought it was so great. So, if you want to watch that video, it's on his Twitter, or just look up Arnold in a hot tub smoking a stogie.
It's pretty funny.
He's like, I'm in my hot tub smoking a stogie.
That's a very Arnold Schwarzenegger thing to do.
And I love the fact that he's smoking a stogie, because have you ever seen the video? It's like, I'm ballsy. I smoke my stogies in my house. And you gotta go to a bathroom. You little peasant. It's great. But yeah, we thought that was great. to end on a light note.
Yeah, it's pretty
look
great.
up that video. It's on his Twitter. Or just look up Arnold in a hot tub smoking a Stucky. So here we are at the end of our show. Usual outro.
What's our time? How far do we get?
1:39. This is going to be the longest one, I guarantee
episode.
you.
Nice.
But here we are.
Nice.
No matter what time you're listening, good morning, good evening, and good night.
And chase your dreams, not your fridge.
I'm not done yet. Good morning, good evening, good night, and goodbye for now, and stay safe.
And chase your dreams, not your fridge.
Yeah, it's so sad Steve Jobs died of ligma.
Who's Steve Jobs?
Ligma ball!